NXT delivered a really good pay-per-view at the weekend with Vengeanceday. The young talent appeared to deliver there, and the aftermath happened on this episode of NXT. Why did Carmelo Hayes turn on Trick Williams, costing him the NXT Championship and beating him down? Corbin and Breakker, of course, won the Men's Dusty Classic. Lola Vice screwed Roxanne Perez out of her one-on-one opportunity. So lots going on, and we started things off with Carmelo Hayes, who faced heat in front of the entire crowd, and he changed his mind about speaking, saying not yet. A brilliant way to start. That's only going to build heat on them, so that worked really nicely. And yeah, when it leads to the answer we get down the line, it'll make for even more heat. Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin then arrived to begin the celebration, but they called out the family but got Fraser and Axiom instead, and that led to the opening match against Anan and Blade. And after a tough fight, Fraser and Axiom won with a Phoenix splash into the Golden Ratio. It was a chaotic opening to the night, with one tease promo turning into another. The fast-paced action only kept it coming. Yeah, I think these two are probably some of the best in NXT. Anan and Blade kept up with the team, and all four men were working really hard, and they were rolling through picture in picture, and they pulled out a performance that could have stolen the show at Vengeanceday. This was a match that could set the foundation for the tag division going forward. Both teams need to be in a conversation alongside the Wolf Dogs for future shots. Fraser and Axiom especially are ready for a big spotlight, so yeah, get 7 out of 10 from me. Great stuff. Ilya Dragonov then headed straight into the ring, calling out Carmelo Hayes. Instead, Daack arrived. The Man Dragon was not interested until Hard Justice took the first shot. Officials broke up the brawl. It was then announced later that Daack and Dragonov would fight one-on-one in the main event. The only angle that Dragonov could rival the drama of Mello and Trick is returning to his rivalry with Daack. They had such a heated rivalry and one of the best matches of last year, and they could pick up where they left. This could have been a very smart way to distract Dragonov from the Mello Trick rivalry, but it turned out to be a temporary move. It will make the work to sell Daack as a true challenger to Dragonov in the near future, and before we eventually get back up to that Mellow Trick and in around the title scene, which will be interesting to see how it plays out. Before it's time for Lexis King versus Riley Osborne. Riley was rolling until he noticed Thea Hale was not in the crowd, which stretched him for long enough for a super kick and a coronation, giving Lexis King the win. This was just about nothing to this match. It was built for over 2 months, yet got 4 minutes and never really got out of first gear. King was not impressed yet in NXT. With his spotlight, he struggles making an impact. His offense lacks flash, and he isn't fluid enough to be a technical performer. Osborne is still struggling to see himself as a unique star on the same roster as Fraser and Axiom. Unfortunately, it just looks show, and his romance with Hale has been cute so far though, and it's an interesting storyline. So for that, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. But the rest of it, yeah, not totally convinced. Before Carmelo Hayes finally decided it was time to talk, and he headed to the ring with a single spotlight on his back. He told Trick that he was always the hype man and was never the front man, and he believed too much in fan hype. The heat of the crowd, combined with a strong promo from Mello, was enough to create a powerful moment on the back of his unforgettable turn. The presentation showed who the A-Champ will be as a heel going forward. For a few small criticism, the explanation ran a little long, and some of the line fell into familiar WWE cliches. Still, this remains clearly NXT's top angle, and it may be difficult to keep these two from really stealing the show at stand and deliver, which is inevitably where this is heading. So yeah, this was really, really good and makes sense, kind of in Trick's absence for a while. Before it's time for Roxanne versus Lola, obviously a bit of a grudge match. Lola took over the action, battered Roxanne, nearly taking the win off a spinning back fist. However, takes some distracted Vice by trying to cash in the women's breakout tournament, joining the match, allowing the Prodigy to hit Pop Rocks to win. This was the biggest test state for Vice and still made an impression. While she didn't showcase how much she knew in her arsenal, she guided the action for a little longer without losing conditioning in a longer bout. The next step for her is focusing on what she does best. She should learn into the striking game rather than using generic headlocks to slow the action. If she can find that balance, she should be back in title contention soon. Perez needed this to rebound the victory that should lead her back to challenging Lyra. She remains one of NXT's best performers and has figured out her character work as well. Paxley's involvement was confusing, but likely makes complete sense in her continued effort to support the champion. So yeah, this gets a 6 out of 10 from me. A decent win for Perez here. Nothing too groundbreaking, but it did the job, put her over, and yeah, kind of on the road to stand and deliver, where you guess you get a rematch between her and Lyra. We then got Lash Legends and Jakara Jackson versus Fallon Henry and Ren Sinclair. Metaphor targeted newcomer Sinclair throughout this match. While Fallon looked dominant when she got her opportunities, Sinclair still flared to Lash Legends powerbomb. This bout fell into a familiar formula as the underdog Sinclair was isolated for much of it. Neither of the team has clear chemistry yet, especially Legends and Jackson, whose offense is too plain. However, Legends does seem to be starting to put it together. Her offense is getting tighter and she looks confident in action as a way she didn't last year. As she gains confidence and Jackson finds her footing, they need to expand their tag team offense if they plan to work together for long term. This could be a major asset to the tag team division. Sinclair comes into WWE with immediate in-ring experience from before. However, her character's not quite clicking yet, and Henley deserves this after more than a year breaking out in NXT. So yeah, I thought it was decent, but at the same time there wasn't really anything too groundbreaking to it. So on the whole, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. We then got Daack battering Dragonov, and Daack picked up where he left off earlier in the night, battering Dragonov with punches and kicks to the face. However, Gacy ruined it for Hard Justice, hitting him with a boxing glove to set up the H-bomb for the victory. Afterwards, Hayes caught Dragonov with a chop block and stood over the champion with his gold. While NXT could have afforded to wait and hype this one up, it was unsurprisingly fantastic. These two men were able to sell the match like it was for the title. Few men on the gold brand have as much chemistry as these two. They are the two best wrestlers on the roster, and it was an absolute knockout from start to finish for a TV match. It seems like they're building towards a big match at Triple Stand and Deliver. Could it be a triple threat match? Could it just be a singles match? Who knows? But Carmelo looked like a star here, and NXT needs to kind of just make sure it doesn't repeat it too much while Trick's absence. But a brilliant finish to the show. And overall, NXT this week gets a 6 out of 10 from me. I thought, yeah, a really good episode of NXT this week, I have to say. Lots going on, really great matches. Ilya and Daack, and yeah, multiple interesting storylines already building to Stand and Deliver, which is still a while away yet. So on the whole, yeah, a really good episode of NXT, and one that I thoroughly enjoyed. Guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.